Hello and welcome back to the Bored Whovian YouTube channel, and today is day 8 of the 14 days of Doctor Who. So yeah, we are well into it now. We've just gone over a week now. It's the Saturday the 18th. Saturday the 18th of December. This should be coming out on the day I go back home, actually. So by the time this is actually released, I will be back home, which is a very exciting prospect because I'm going back home for Christmas. So yeah, this episode today I'm going to be reviewing the Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe. Now, the thing is, every episode I've reviewed so far, all the Christmas specials up to this point, I remember enjoying in some way. Even the next Doctor, which I think gets some sort of flack, but I fairly enjoy it. I think it's completely harmless. Now this one, I was trying to remember exactly when it came out, and it would have come out Christmas Day 2011. So I would have been in year 5 at school, so I'd have been 9 I'd have been 9 years old. Yeah, and even then, I wasn't a big fan of this episode, and I've got to say, that remains to be the case. So yeah, I don't think this will be too long a review. I at the beginning, I thought, do I even take notes? But I've decided to take some sort of notes, but yeah. No, I think I've just got to get through this review. As you know, when I planned this whole thing, I knew, look, you're going to have to watch episodes you don't like, but you know, at the end of the day, if you're going to be a YouTuber, you're going to have to talk about it. You're going to have to rewatch stuff which you don't like and review it at some point. And I finally hit that point only a few months in. But this is the first time I've had to review something which, you know, I've not even had that much fun with. But yeah. Let's go on with the review. So, it really starts off quite fun. Like the pre-titles with, you know, the ship blowing up and the Doctor hanging on and ending up in the spacesuit is kind of fun. It's kind of jam-packed, really fast-paced. And I like that. And I do like that. The music's really good. It's a fun thing. But, yeah. The more and more I think about this story, the more and more I think it's a lot of things that could be used and aren't used enough. For example, this episode, obviously, Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe, as in fact, it's spoken of early on that the kind of one of the main focus of the episode, Madge, who's played by Claire Skinner, who's I'd say most well known for being in Outnumbered, sitcom, which I'd very much recommend. It's a brilliant BBC sitcom. But her husband, who's played by Alexander Armstrong, who is actually Mr. Smith in Sarah Jane Adventures and also presents Pointless, he dies supposedly in World War II, and she is kind of struggling to tell the children, and she doesn't want to tell them over Christmas. Now, the thing is, the story should completely focus on that, on the grief and the loss and an emotional outbreak. It's mentioned at the start. You forget about it for about the entire episode while it's distracting you with all this Christmassy stuff, and then it's mentioned at the end. Now, here's the thing: when it's brought back up through, you know, sciencey stuff and whatever, Madge accidentally tells the kids, and they find out. Now, there's a 2 or 3 minutes while some stuff's going on and they're saving trees and whatever. But the first time they are actually confronted about it, and they confront their mother about it, there is roughly a minute gap between that and their dad being revealed to be okay. Like, there was a minute worth of emotional discussion, and that's a real waste. You know, you always think, God, it doesn't really drive the story, because actually the majority of the fun story, or whatever was supposed to be fun, it's not talked about or even mentioned. So it's a waste. As well, the World War II setting, the only thing it has going for it is the fact that their husband died, which, as I've said, is an absolute waste. You think of, you know, the Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, which is very much based on, because they go for they don't go for a wardrobe, they go for a box, a little cardboard, a little present, and walk into this kind of winter, wonderland, effectively. Very similar to Narnia. But Narnia is this magical place, and it's devoid of the magic of C.S. Lewis, I feel. The wooden things, look, I'm going to say this review is completely different to any other review I'm going to do. I'm not going to walk through the plot. I'm just going to list the things which annoy me, and I'm walking through here. Now, one thing, I've just said it, the time setting really should be used more. And then again, the time setting isn't even something they've planned, I don't think. The time setting is the time setting from the line that Witch in the Wardrobe. It's set during the war. Now, as well, the Doctor says to Madge after she helps him, originally, to make a wish. Now, I know this is a show which kids will watch, especially at Christmas. It's really lighthearted at Christmas. But I just watched that and I go, what? Even as a kid, I was like, just make a wish. I was like, as a kid, I was questioning that logic. I know I sound like a really dull child, but yeah, that's what I was thinking at the time. Also, you've got cameos from Arabella Weir, Bill Bailey, and another comedian, which I'm not too sure about. And it's wasted. Completely wasted. They're completely wasting this story. These are people who could have been in Good Doctor Who story. It's annoying when you get good guest stars and you waste them. And that's the case in this one as well, including Claire Skinner. Bill Bailey isn't bad. He's just in it barely. Same with Arabella Weir, who actually is technically the first female Doctor, as she was the female Doctor in the Unbound alternate universe Doctor Who audio series during the Wilderness years. She doesn't have too much to do, which is a shame. And it's playing for laughs at that point, when I feel like this story could have been a real, why doesn't it focus on the death and the loss and grief and recovery? That is such a thing. One of my favourite stories from Moffat is Heaven Sent, which is exactly that. It focuses all on the recovery of grief and, the Doctor's torment after Clara's death. And this one just kind of doesn't deal with it. It kind of shoves it aside and then brings it up for a minute and then resolves it magically, which is just a complete waste. And it's a shame, because it could have been a good special, but I just don't like this one. I really don't. If you like it, please explain why. Because look, if you like it, I'm happy someone can take joy out of something which I'm not a fan of. But I will happily admit right now, I don't want to watch this episode ever again in my life, because I don't want to waste an hour. It's just I don't need to watch this. I don't need to watch this ever again. Which is nice saying it out loud. Now that I put a review out, it's done. But yeah, I like the little references. There's two little references which I got, which is that Bill Bailey and Arabella Weir, they're from they say they're from Androzani Major, which is obviously the country planet, which is similar to Androzani Minor, which is the planet which they mine from, and they get Spectrox from, obviously from the caves of Androzani. One of the best stories of all time in Doctor Who history. I will probably review that at one point, but I love that story. If you haven't checked it out, if you haven't checked out Classic Who, you're doing something wrong. But if you have checked out Classic Who and haven't seen that story, watch it. It's fantastic. But that's a nice little reference, but it doesn't really add anything to the plot, and the plot's what's wrong with it, in my opinion. There's nice ideas which just aren't explored. It's just or explored to the extent which I'd like them to be. The thing they focus on is the fact that trees have this life force and they are trying to escape acid rain. And if someone described that to me as the plot of the Christmas special, I think there's not enough there to draw someone in, and it doesn't draw me in, and that's the problem. There's just so many things. I've got notes here of issues I've got with the story, which are really minor, like little plot holes, but I don't want to mention them because I'm ripping through it enough as it is. But yeah, Matt Smith is trying towards the end of it. I don't like him sometimes, but here I can tell he's doing a decent performance, but it's just a shame. It's just a bad story. I think I like the ending because he goes back to Amy and Rory and is encouraged to talk to them, and it reveals that he isn't dead, obviously referring to the end of Series 6, which they already know he's still alive. And it's really nice how he goes, why have you got a place map out for me? And they go, well, we always do. And that's a really lovely ending, you know, because it's, you know, expressing that they have love for the Doctor, you know, they care for the Doctor, and even though how unreliable it is, they always have that faith that he will come, and which is really nice. But this story is just, God almighty, I just don't like it. I'm looking at the timer now on how long I've been recording, and compared to the other Christmas specials, I've barely been talking, and I don't know if I have anything else to say about it. I just don't have anything to say about this story. Nothing to say about it. I mean, the wooden people, yeah, I don't find them scary. As a kid, I don't know if they're supposed to be scary, but I never found them scary as a kid. They're just a bit weird, and not interesting. That's not a concept which I find too interesting. But yeah, this definitely feels like Moffat forgot to write the Christmas special and wrote it in like 2 hours. But you know, you never know. It's just, if someone finds joy out of this episode, please comment below whether you like this story. But you know, I think it's pretty well known amongst the fandom that this is probably one of the most disliked of the Christmas specials. I think I see it at the bottom of most people's, you know, rankings, and it's definitely at the moment at the bottom of all the episodes I've watched so far. So yeah, I generally think I'm done now. This is the quickest review I've done ever, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that review is done. What would I give this out of 10? I would give it a 4 out of 10. A 6 to me is a fun episode which I can deal with. A 5 is, you know, okay, fine, it's going through the motions. 4 is I am watching this because I have to watch it to review it. The irony being I've not made enough notes to make a detailed enough review on it because I generally just wasn't enjoying myself. But yeah, that's it. I'm in a real bad mood. I'm going to watch The Snowman straight after this because I want to finish all this stuff, but hopefully The Snowman's a bit better. I think it will be a little bit better, but I'm certainly looking forward to certain ones later on where I think I'll hit a patch of underrated Christmas specials, so we say. But yeah, that's my opinion on this one. Hopefully you've enjoyed my review. Hopefully you agree with my opinions. If you don't, comment below what you think. If you haven't seen the other episodes of this series, go check it out. This is only day 8. So yeah, there's 7 videos before this. You've got the tier list and the previous 6 specials reviewed. So yeah, check those videos out. Obviously as well, I've got lots of other content on this channel. I've got all the reviews for Flux, Series 13 news videos. Those ones aren't relevant. If you don't watch them, fine. But yeah, that is it. Also, I've got a podcast and another YouTube channel which I do with 2 other people, which is all around football. So if you are interested in that, the links will be in the description and up there actually. Yeah. So yeah, check all that stuff out, please. That'd be really nice. I've been the Bored Whovian, and that is one of the most painful viewing experiences I've had in a while. I'll see you later. Merry Christmas.